What's good? What's good? Welcome back to the channel. Chris back with another video for you guys. 2008 Dodge Avenger. Getting ready to change the water pump, 2.4. So yeah, 2.4 water pump's leaking. So you're gonna need a number 6 Allen to remove your tire, okay? Number 6 Allen. And this shouldn't be too tight, breaking free. Remove your wheel cover. And it should be a 19 milli. All these do, so let's go ahead and remove those and let's get started. All right, so I'm gonna be moving around quite a bit because it's my first time doing one of these on this specific vehicle, but you want to use a jack stand for safety. Jacks do fail, so you always want to do that for backup protection for yourself. You don't want to lose your life just to change a water pump. This pump bought from AutoZone. It was $75, I do believe. You're gonna need some coolant. So I bought concentrated instead of 50-50, and you're gonna need some distilled water if you buy concentrated. Otherwise, you'll have to buy 50-50. All right, so got the wheel off. Let me get set up with the camera, and I shall return. All right, so we're back in here after you get your wheel off. Okay, you're gonna have various clips around. Okay, so you got one here, 7mm. You got a clip here. Well, should be a 7mm here, but sometimes you won't have one. You got a pop pin up here. Here you're gonna have to remove, and this one as well. You're gonna have to remove that guy. Then we'll be able to get access to this other shield up under there. So let's get to it. Yep, you never know what's gonna happen. I just replaced the alternator in this guy about a week ago, and it's always something with these cars. So let's get this one on out. Put it in the magnet ball. All right, we're gonna cut this. Let's get this out of here. And so if you lose your screws, zip ties do not rust, and they're very, very good to use in a lot of applications and spaces and places. All right. So you might need a pick. You might need you're gonna need a flathead and some type of trim removal tool to get these guys up and out of here. So let's get started and work our way around. All right, so down here, let's get this guy up and out. Might need some WD-40 or some Phoebe Blaster if they're real stuck. All right, so I got that loose. Get a trim removal tool. Let's separate it. These really come in handy. You can still get them out, but these really help. And you get one at your local parts store, about $7 to $10. Got another clip here. And just take your time and don't rush, because you might mess something up. But the main thing is taking your time. And we got that loose. Okay, let's work our way up. We got another one up here. That one's halfway hanging out, so it shouldn't be too hard to pop it rest the way out, but still might have to separate it. There we go. And sometimes they separate, you can just pop them back together. This one did not. All right, and we got this one up here. All right, let's pop that on off. All right, so that should be enough. No, we have one more right here. All right, that one separated. It's okay. Let's go behind that. Pop that one out. All right, so now we got that loose. We should be able to fold this out the way and have access to everything after we move that. So let's go ahead and start pulling this. And let's work it on out. Just like that, okay? After you move that guy out, we got two 10mm. It's going to be one up under here. Over here, you're not going to be able to see it, but we got this one as a 10. Let's go ahead and get that one out as well. Switching and using one hand right now. Can't really set up on the tripod yet. All right. And we might be going shorter. All right, got one out. And you're definitely gonna need you some lights, okay? Especially if you're in here, because We all know when we work on these things, there's shadows everywhere. Okay, so here, come over here, and you're gonna look up in here, okay? It is a 10 right behind this dude up there. Hopefully it's showing, but yeah, it's a 10 up there, right in there. Might not be able to see it, but yep, let's get him out, and let's see if we can get to it. There it is, right there. All right, so I'm gonna have to use a ratchet wrench. So I'm gonna use that, get that out. Be back. All right, so after you remove that shield, you'll have access to your belt tensioner and your serpentine belt area in here. Water pump is right here. Okay, so that's where we're leaking at. This is leaking down. I'm not gonna drain the fluid. I'm just gonna let it come out from the water pump because it's gonna come out anyway. But you can drain it, and that way it doesn't spill everywhere, but it's still gotta come out. I got catch pans and all that you're gonna need. So, all right, this right here is your belt tensioner pulley, this dude right here. So let's crank it, get the belt off, and it's gonna be a 16 millimeter, okay? 16. Make sure your wrench is right, tighty, lefty, loosey. And we're going right there. And it should be going back towards the firewall. And I would use a 6-point socket. Just give me your tension release right there. So let me release that and get the belt off. I usually will, actually, let me see if I can set my tripod up now. All right, so we're here. Let's go up. There. Okay, so I usually slide it off of this pulley here, crank it down, just slide this over to the side, just like that, and release our tension. And let's work this on up and out the way. Okay, so now we have that. We got access to our water pump, and we're going to remove the belt from it over here. Okay, so that's the water pump. And I will tell you what sizes everything are. You want to take a picture if you don't know your serpentine belt route, because there's quite a few pulleys on here. I think it's like 8 or 9, but yep, that's accessible now. These look like 7 millis. I will verify that in a minute. And let me tuck this over the side a little bit. I was trying not to do any work today, but life happens. So move that out the way. All right, so now we got access to the water pump. So we got to get these 2 out, or these 3 out. So we're going to do them one at a time, and we'll take the pulley off, and then we'll start working at the water pump. Give me a second. All right, after verification, those are 10 millimeters. So I got a ratchet, but it looks like I'm gonna have to go regular crescent wrench or ratchet wrench. So let's try that first. All right, you can also use your belt to relieve it, so that way you can get the bolts out, because it's gonna spin when you try to turn it. So you can leave your belt on to help you there. These shouldn't be too tight, so I'm gonna break these free and rotate as I go. So let's see if I can set this phone somewhere on the camera to where you guys can still see, hopefully, because I'm going in right up there. So hopefully this will feel. So let's try to get it right tight, lefty loosey on the wrench. And I'm gonna hold the pulley and see if I can get it to break free. And looks like I might be going about it a different way. Might be using something to hold it and try to crank it off. So I'll let you know what I do here in a moment. Otherwise, I'm gonna put the belt back on, but you don't want to have to do that. So I think I'm gonna use some channel locks or something around the pulley. That way when it rotates, it'll lock up against something. So let's try that. Alright, let's get these locks. Let's see if we can lock it in place and try to get it to rest somewhere. And see what we can do. So yeah, break this on down. Almost there. Let's tighten it up a little bit. And this will help me hold it a little better. It should. And let's see if we can get it now. And it's going to rotate this way, but we're blocking up against that. So hopefully that'll help on the cranking. And you want to make sure you're good. There we go. One to break free. And make sure you're good. and it did break free. All right, so let's rotate and go to the next one. Yep, so if you do it this way, it'll be easier, but if you have the serpentine belt on, you're not going to be able to rotate it like you want to. So let's crank it again, see if we get it. There we go. All right, that's 2. We got 1 more to break free, and we can remove our pulley. Slide that one on down. But yep, you do what you got to do to get the job done. And I like to show full videos, so everybody can take shortcuts. It's easy to take a shortcut, but everybody don't know how to do it. So let's teach and show and tell. All right, last one. Then I can proceed on getting them out, but make sure you're all the way on good. Just one main thing, make sure you're all the way on good. And there we go. Our last one's broke free. Move that out the way. And let's grab our light. And we're gonna start backing these out by hand, okay? All right, light there. Somewhere. There we go. All right. It should be loose enough, so we're gonna start hand tight. Well, spinning these out by hand if you can. If not, that means we gotta ratchet some more. So it looks like I am. Have to ratchet some more. Make sure my wrench is set. Alright, that should be loose enough there. Yep, it is. And you want to keep up with all these guys. And there is a foot-pound rating. You might not be able to get a torque wrench in there, so just rule of thumb, hand tight, tight enough, just so you can get it on there. And my screw fell right there. There we go. Let's rotate it down some more, one at a time. All right, that one needs some more loosening. All right, so you see where I'm at, what I'm doing. I'll go ahead and keep doing this. Let me use 2 hands for a minute and get these out. She'll return. All right, so after those 10s, wiggle, pull our pulley on out. Now you can have a magnet tray, or you can set your screws back in there. I'm getting ready to get my magnet bowl. All right, so now we have access to our water pump, and you see what it looks like. So you got one on this side at the top, and 2, 3, and 4. And let me loosen those up so I can get ready to lose some fluid, coolant. But just make sure you don't undo the wrong bolt over here, okay? All right, so let me start cracking those free. They look like 13s. Let me verify and I shall return. All right, so all those are 12 millis. So getting ready to back these up. All right, so this area, you're gonna probably need a 3-inch extension for that one all the way in the top up there in the back. So I got those, that one. And let's try to break it free after I build my ratchet. I'll sit this here for a minute. And let's see if we can get it. I might have to move this light. And we might not need the 3-inch, so I might have to go with a 1-inch extension on that. So let's see what we can use to get in there, because it's behind another bolt, so it's that one. So let's see what we got. All right, 1-inch extension, 1-inch extension. All right, let's get up in here. And I'm on my back too. Let's get in here, and we're just gonna break it free. And that way, I don't. You don't want to lock out up against your against your frame. So you just want to break it free, then work your way around. So let me get those broken free, and you might have to switch between a ratchet and a regular wrench. So let me break those free, and I shall return. All right, so got the 2 at the top broke free. All right, down here, let's position our ratchet. Definitely use a 6-point if you have one. That way you don't round off your bolts. Yes, it is a possibility. You don't know who was last in here, if this was replaced or not. So you definitely don't want to strip anything out. And make sure you're on good. And let's crank it. There we go. So all those are broke free. And this one's a little tighter than the others. All right, let me shrink this dude so I don't back up against the wall up here, frame, and we can start knocking on this dude. All right, so I got all those loose except for this dude. He's almost loose, but I'm getting ready to use a flex head 10 just cause it's already broken free. Might be able to come from, yeah. So let me figure out which way I'm gonna go about this. Let's get him on there. All right, so these are the last couple. Let me get this one to break free. The other ones are real loose, so that way we can start training. All right, so I got my flex head, and remember all these are 12s, okay? 12 millimeters. I got my catch pan ready. But this is the one I want to come out first. This is the tighter one, so just gonna work it. It's good to have different ratchets. Stubby 12 would help too, but you definitely don't want to use your ratchet and bump up against your frame and be stuck. You won't be able to switch your ratchet back. So I want this one all the way out. Then I can start rotating my hand up to the top. Let's see if he's loose enough, and he is. All right, I got that one. These are really loose, so let's just spin them out. And I'll be able to get ready to take this dude out. But you can do it, man. I know you can. If you're watching this, you must be mechanically inclined enough to do the job. All right, so here I'm going to use my extension and my socket 12 millimeter to get those out. Let's get these on out. Got the extension. Let's get it on there. And this is where you're really going to use two hands at, okay? Okay, got that. Let's back it up. See your bolt. Let's get him at the top. Should be finger tight now, and it is. And I have one more out of this dude, but take your time. You're going to get done. All right, just take your time. All right, got one more. And then I can slide my pen and start knocking at this dude. So this one here is a little further recessed back, but you might be able to still twist it. Or you can put your socket back on. All right, but we're almost there. All right, last bolt. And I hope you took a picture of your serpentine belt route, because like I said, it's like 9 pulleys, and sometimes we even get confused. All right, all those are accounted for. All right, you're gonna need you a little mallet or something. Sometimes you can just wiggle it. Make sure you set here, but I'm getting ready to lose all this fluid. Make sure I got all my tools out the way. All right, just everybody's accounted for. All right, Mr. Water Pump, here we go. Let's see if we can wiggle you out first. And nope. All right, so let's get to the mallet. Mr. Dead Blow. Right there, let's tap on it. Some kind of way. There we go, starting to get some splash. Starting to leak for me. And you can also use a chisel or something, or, you know, a breaker bar or something. Might have to get a smaller hammer. All right, let me get another hammer. He's leaking though. All right, let's tap on it. Check around, make sure there is no more bolts. Just a double, triple check. Should only be 4. And might be 5. Let's see. Looks like it's 5. All right, give me a second. Verify. All right, so it is 5 bolts. There's one at the very top of this guide. You're not going to be able to see me get to it, so let me get that loose, and then this should be coming out. Be right back. All right, so we got the 5th bolt removed, and now we should get fluid. And let's try to catch this pin a little better, and let's start knocking it. Water pump, let's move away from that. There we go. So, as long as you got a good catch pan, should be good. So let's let that drain, and I shall return after it gets low enough to pull it out. All right, so we finished draining at a steady drip, so let's go ahead and wiggle and pop it out. Okay, so around that area where this guy comes out, okay, you're gonna have to clean it all around this area, okay? So make sure there's no debris or anything in there. You're gonna wanna wipe it out real good, and you're gonna wanna use some brake parts cleaner to make sure there is nothing else in there. So I'm gonna let this drain and drip, because if it's still dripping when you're trying to put your new gasket on, it will leak. So you wanna make sure it's not leaking no more. So I'm gonna lower the vehicle down a little bit, that way I can get more fluid out, and then I'm gonna jack it back up and it should stop leaking, okay? And from there, let's go over and match up the part since we're at that level. All right, so we're over at the bench. Let's go ahead and match the part up. This is the parts number here, AWP-1982. Got this at AutoZone, okay? Limited lifetime warranty. And let's match up the part and gaskets and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and clear out the bag. I think they sealed this one, and they did. Okay. Let's get them on out. And we're just gonna flip it around and check everything, okay? So one thing I noticed that is different already, let's pull this off too. All right, everything on the back side is the same, okay? So water pump looks great, okay? So what looks different, you flip it over, you got the circle here, and you got the triangle here, but everything is matching up. Other than that, they do upgrade parts sometimes, and yeah. So as long as they look the same as far as everything else, you should be good to go. All right, it only goes in one way, okay? So looks good other than this, which is still gonna spin same way. All right, so flip it over again. Everything's looking good. And now let's get our gasket. Okay, so you're gonna make sure you don't touch the edge with your hands or anything. It's gonna be kind of tedious if you put this on there, because it is not sticky on the back. So I'm gonna use a little bit of gasket sealant just to hold it in its place, because you don't have to put gasket sealant on this gasket. So it's not required, but just to help you on the side of the engine, just put a little bit around there just to make it sticky, okay? So let me go clean up the area. I'm gonna get some brake parts cleaner and wipe it all down and stuff. And I'll take you guys with me for that quick stuff. All right, got my brake parts cleaner. Yours might be clean and might not be, but we want no debris around there at all. So, use a rag. Get as much away from there as possible. All right, so we're gonna let that drip down. I'm gonna wipe and clean, repeat this process until I have no oil around there at all, as antifreeze has an oil base in it to keep the engine from drying out, so it keeps it lubricated so it doesn't rust. Okay, so let this dry on out, give me some rags. This will be ready for the water pump, and then we can go back over here and set up the gasket. All right, so from here, let's get a little brake parts cleaner on a clean cloth like that. Let's take our water pump and wipe around. Might not be greasy, but it doesn't hurt to make sure it's not greasy on all the contact points. All right, so that looks good. All right, we're gonna let that sit there for a minute and dry while that's going in. Got some gasket sealant, and like I said, we're just gonna use enough just to make this touch, and that way we can start getting it in. When you go back in, start with your bottom bolt. That way you can just screw it all the way up just to get it tight so it doesn't move around, and that way you can start applying the rest of them. Okay, so I'll take a little bit, like I said, just a little bit. Let's puncture that, and we just need a little bit, so about something like that. Let me cover this up so it doesn't start to ooze. We just need this thin layer just to keep it from sliding. Just a thin layer all the way around. Hopefully this is enough I have already. We just need it to stick on there just a little bit. Some people don't use these gaskets, but might as well. And you just want it to sit on there. I keep saying that. Don't clog it. Don't glob it. That's why I'm going slow. Don't need too much. And this should get me around the rest of the way. And around the outsides too. Just enough. Hopefully that's on camera. And we're almost to the end. And just a little more. And I can close this on up. That should be enough. Close this on up. And I'm not going to be able to show you guys because I'm going to do this pretty quick because we don't want this to set up. So make sure you don't get any on the inside. Alright, that should be sticky enough. Let's go ahead and get our gasket and place it. You want to make sure everything is in the spot and just kind of make it stick. Okay, might need a little more, but I'm going to slide it around just a little bit to make it stick. And that way my holes are accessible. And we're going to put it back in the way we took it out. So looks like it's going in this way because we got the hidden bolt up at the top. So sticking enough to get the job done. Yep, so let's proceed. I'm about to go back over, get the bolt in, and then I'll bring you guys when I'm putting the rest in, tightening up. All right, so we back. Got all 4 of those in. Got one more up here. So let's put that one in. And we'll just hand tighten everybody. And when you tighten these down, you want to go in a star pattern. That way you make sure you get a nice even go round. Okay, that one is kind of tight. All right, there we go. All right, so let me get these tightened down, and I'm going to proceed on putting the pulley back on, putting my serpentine belt back on, and just basically following this process in reverse. And then I'm going to start bleeding the coolant system. So please hit a thumbs up, guys, if this is able to help you out. I try to do full videos as much as possible on the work that I do. So like I said, hopefully this helps you out. You definitely want to check for leaks after you do this job. And yeah, pop in, leave the notification bell on if you want to see something or learn something with me. And to the next video, guys, live life, love it. And definitely hit the thumbs up, guys. And I'm out.